Good morning, students. This will be the fifth session on the chapter planning. And from this session onwards, I shall be discussing with you the different types of plans, the different types of detailed plans or derivative plans, which are formed and used in a commercial organization, especially in the corporate sector. So next topic, please write types of plans used in a company. Types of plans used in a company. Within brackets, page number 162 of this textbook, you see the page number of your edition and write down the page number beside the topic. So open the bracket from types of plans and underline it. Managers prepare and use various types of plans. Some plans are used repeatedly in similar situations. So managers of a company, they prepare and use different types of plans. Some of these plans are used continuously, repeatedly, in same sort of situations, in similar situations. Such plans are known as standing plans or repeat use plans. Please underline this. The plans which are used by an organization in similar situations over and over again are called standing plans or repeat use plans. Objectives, policies, procedures, and rules are examples of standing plans. So different types of such standing plans are objectives, policies, procedures, and rules. On the other hand, other types of plans are called single-use plans because after use, these plans have to be reformulated. There are certain other types of plans which are implemented in an organization which are called single-use plans because once that particular plan is used in a particular situation to deal with a particular situation, the next time that same type of a plan may not be used or cannot be used. It needs proper restructuring and reformulation. Programs, budgets, etc. are examples of such single-use plans. So these plans called programs, budgets, etc. are different types of single-use plans. Close the bracket after that. Close the bracket after that. Now keep that triangle within brackets and please learn that diagram which shows the sequence in which the different types of plans are formulated and implemented in an organization. So you can see from the triangle that the first plan which is formed by the management of a company is objectives. Objectives themselves are treated as a plan. After formulating objectives come strategies, then policies, then procedures, rules, programs, methods, budgets. So these are all derivative plans or different types of plans which are formulated and implemented, especially in a big company. Objectives, strategies, policies, procedures, rules, programs, methods, and budgets. Close the bracket after that. So different types of plans. Now next topic, we are going to start with the first type of plan, which is objectives. Objectives themselves are treated as plans. So next topic, please give the topic heading, write a heading, objectives, give a colon, underline. Objectives, give a colon, underline. Below it, write point number A. Meaning of objectives. Meaning of objectives as a plan of an organization. Meaning of objectives as a plan of an organization. That is point number A under objectives. pages 162 to 163, you write down the page numbers of your textbook. So open the bracket from objectives and underline it. Every organization is established to achieve some purposes which are called its objectives. So every business organization is established to achieve certain goals, to attain certain purposes, so which are called its objectives. Objectives are the ends or results to be achieved. Objectives are nothing but the ends, the destinations, the results which an organization must try to achieve. All the activities of an organization and all functions of the management are directed towards these objectives. So therefore, every activity performed within an organizational setup and every function performed by the management of an organization should be directed entirely for accomplishing these objectives. Objectives indicate the destination of the organization. Objectives clearly show the end point, the destination which the organization must reach within a specific period of time. The process of planning begins with the setting of objectives. We discussed in the last session when we were discussing in detail the different steps in the planning process. The first step in the planning process is setting of objectives. So the process of planning begins with the setting of objectives. Objectives may be defined, please underline it. Objectives may be defined as the purposes or aims which an organization wants to achieve over different time periods. Objectives set by an organization can be more than one, can be many in number. Some objectives are long-term objectives of the organization. Some objectives are short-term objectives of the organization. Now, whenever an organization, the management sets objectives, these objectives are set as time-bound objectives. That the organization wishes to achieve these objectives, fulfill these objectives within what period of time. So, objectives may be defined as the purposes or aims which an organization wants to achieve over different time periods. According to Louis Allen, objectives are goals established to guide the efforts of the company and each of its components. You can use this definition given by Louis Allen as well, that objectives are goals which are established deliberately to guide the efforts of the company and each of its components. A business enterprise has multiple or several objectives. Just now I told you a business organization can have multiple or several objectives, such as objective regarding survival, objective regarding earning of profits, objective regarding growth, objective regarding giving service to the society, etc. Close the bracket after that. So this is the meaning of objectives as a plan of an organization. Next, point number B, under objectives, point number B, topic number B, please write importance or advantages of objectives. Importance or advantages of objectives. Within brackets, page 163 to 164, you write down the page numbers of your textbook. Importance or advantages of objectives. Open the bracket from importance of objectives. If the question comes, discuss the main advantages of objectives, the answer will be the same. Effective management is management by objectives. Please underline this sentence. It is often said that effective management is management by objectives. That if the management of an organization is entirely guided by the objectives, then the management will become effective. So effective management is management by objectives. According to Luther Gulick, in administration, God helps those who have a clearly defined objective. Well-defined objectives provide the following benefits or advantages. Well-defined, very clearly defined specific objectives offer the following advantages. Number one, legitimacy. Underline it. Point headings must be remembered. Objectives embody the basic mission of the organization. Objectives state clearly or explains clearly the vision of the founder members of the organization. Therefore, they help to justify its existence and provide a unique identity to it. So therefore, objectives help in justifying that why the company has come into existence, and they also provide a unique identity to the business enterprise. Organizational objectives give purpose and meaning to the organization. The organization itself finds its meaning and purpose through its objectives or from its objectives. Number two, sense of direction. Underline it. Another advantage or importance of objective is that objective gives a definite direction to every activity taking place in the organization and to every function undertaken by the management. Objectives serve as reference points, guidelines, directives for the efforts of the organization. Organizational objectives are the ends towards which all organizational actions should be directed. So organizational objectives, all organizational actions, functions, tasks taking place within the organization must be done considering the organizational objectives, considering the achievement of the organizational objectives. These objectives define, cancel that point number one, these objectives define the destination of the organization. Clearly defined objectives are analogues to a star, which can be used for navigation by ships and aeroplanes. Very well said that clearly defined objectives function as stars which show direction, which used to show direction to the navigators. So likewise, the objectives show the direction, the destination for the organization. It shows the direction to which every employee of the organization, or towards which the effort of every employee of the organization should be directed. And the objectives also give a guideline to the management that how they should perform, how they should function for running the organization smoothly and effectively. Without mutually understood organizational objectives, members of an organization are likely to work aimlessly. If organizational objectives are not clearly defined and explained to all the members, then members of the organization will work aimlessly without any particular goal or without any particular target in front. Third advantage, unified planning. Underline, objectives are prerequisites to determining effective policies, strategies, procedures, rules and methods. The very important sentence, please underline that objectives are the prerequisites, which means that objectives of an organization must be set first. Very clearly defined, well-defined objectives, specific objectives of an organization must be determined and set first by the management, because it is on the basis of these objectives the other plans like policies, strategies, procedures, rules and methods will be derived. All the other plans, policies, strategies, programs, procedures, rules, methods will be formulated for the purpose of accomplishing, fulfilling the objectives. So objectives serve as prerequisites to determining effective policies, strategies, procedures, rules and methods. Organizational objectives are the key to sound planning because all plans are formulated to achieve the objectives. All other plans are formulated or developed to achieve these objectives. Clear-cut objectives make for consistency in decision making. Clear-cut objectives, very specific objectives, also help the management to take the right decision at the right time. Number 4, source of motivation. Please underline. Another importance or advantage of objectives is that they act as a source of motivation not only for the management but also for every member of the organization. So every member of the organization come to know through the objectives that how and why the work which they are performing for the organization would contribute towards the attainment of the objectives of the organization. So each member of the staff, each member of the organization comes to realize through these objectives that how important their own individual role or task will be for attaining a particular objective of the organization in some way or the other. So they will get to realize the importance of their role in the organization, which will itself serve as a motivational factor. They will give importance to their work. They will feel important. And they will get motivated and work with full dedication and sincerity. So effective objectives can be good motivators because they make it easier for a member to realize the accomplishment of his personal goals to the work of the organization. He knows what is expected of him and is thereby more secure in what he needs to be successful in the organization. Number 5, means for coordination. Underline, another importance of objective is that it can act as a means for coordinating the different activities of the different departments of the organization. Because a big organization functions in the form of different departments. Each department has its own set of functions to perform. But the departments may be performing a different set of functions altogether, each department, but all the departments should be coordinated, should be integrated and made to realize that all the departments are functioning with the main purpose or with the sole purpose of attaining the objectives of the organization. The activities which are performed, which the departments are performing may be different in nature from one department to the other. But the reason why the departments are performing this objective is the same. That all the departments are carrying out their own individual responsibilities and functions for the sole purpose of attaining the overall objective of the organization. So this realization will help in coordinating the different departments, bringing the different departments close to each other. So organizational objectives are essential for coordinated effort. The departments will come closer to each other. They will coordinate their efforts. Production department will coordinate with the purchase and stores department. Production department will coordinate with the marketing and sales department. All the departments will have to coordinate with the human resource and accounts and finance department. So organizational objectives are essential for coordinated effort. They encourage all members of the organization to work together in the same direction. You may be working in different departments. Employees of a big organization may be working in different departments of the organization, but all should work together in the same direction for the fulfillment of the same objective of the organization. In the absence of mutually agreed objectives, each member may move in a different direction. Organizational objectives provide the framework for coordinated effort. So these organizational objectives provide the boundaries, provide the framework for coordinated effort. And number 6, objectives also serve as a basis for control, as a tool of controlling activities and functions. Effective objective provides yardsticks for measuring and evaluating performance. They provide objective and rational basis for settling disputes regarding the performance of individuals and groups in the organization. So close the bracket after this. So these are the points of advantage or importance of objectives in an organization. Number C, under objectives, part C, essentials of objectives. You can write essential requirements of sound objectives. Number C, essential requirements of sound objectives. Write the page number beside the topic, the page number of your textbook. So now let us discuss what are the essential requirements of sound objectives. All objectives may not be good, may not be sound. Good plans may not be derived from all types of objectives because the objectives themselves are not sound. So therefore, what should be the essential requisites, the essential requirements of sound objectives, of good objectives? Open the bracket from essentials of objectives. Sound objectives must satisfy the following requirements. Number 1, objectives must be clear and specific. Number 2, objectives should specify the results to be achieved rather than the activities to be performed. Objectives are not detailed plans. There are other plans which can be formulated in much detail to explain the work procedure, like programs, procedures, etc., methods, etc. Objectives are not detailed plans. So therefore, sound objectives should specify the results to be achieved. It must specify the destination to be reached rather than the activities to be performed. What sort of activities are to be performed, specific activities to be performed to reach the destination? For that, other plans need to be formulated, like programs, procedures, methods, etc. Number 3, objectives should, as far as possible, be measurable, quantifiable, that is stated in quantitative terms. So sound objectives must be measurable in nature. They must be expressed in terms of quantities, stated in quantitative terms. Objectives must be time bound. It's a very essential requirement of a sound objective that a good objective must be time bound. It must specify the time within which the organization has to attain that particular objective. Objectives in different areas must be supportive to one another. An organization can have multiple objectives, but these multiple objectives must be complementary in nature, must be supportive to one another. Objectives must be challenging but achievable. Very important requirement. Objectives must be challenging, must be difficult to achieve. Must set challenging targets, but these objectives have to be achievable. They cannot be set. Objectives cannot be impracticable or something which is not feasible at all, something which cannot be reached at all, cannot be achieved at all. They are challenging. They should be set as challenging targets but quite achievable. Objectives should be acceptable to people. Sound objectives must be accepted by the members of the organization. Number 8, give a cross mark, not required. Number 9, objectives should provide some flexibility. So there should be certain rooms for flexibility within objectives. So close the bracket after this. So these are the essential requirements of sound objectives. Now after that, we move on to the next plan. The discussion on objectives is over. Now write the next topic number altogether and give the heading strategy. Strategy. Give a colon, underline it. Below it write number A, meaning. Number A, meaning. Write meaning of a strategy. Number A, meaning of a strategy. Write down the page number of your textbook. In this edition, it is page number 165. So open the bracket from strategy. A strategy may be defined as a comprehensive and integrated plan. A strategy is another type of a plan. A strategy may be defined as a comprehensive and integrated plan which indicates the desired future of an organization. Cancel the and write an. So, a strategy is a type of a plan. It may be defined as a comprehensive and integrated plan, a very detailed and integrated plan which indicates the desired future of an organization. It is a blueprint, something which is laid down on paper. It is a blueprint of an organization's desired destination, direction, and image. It provides answers to questions. Please underline this entire sentence. So, from here, you can understand very clearly what a strategy is. So, a strategy is a detailed plan, a comprehensive plan, an integrated plan which provides answers to the following questions like: where is the organization now at present? Where does it want to be in future? What it must do to reach the desired position? These three important questions are answered by this plan, which is called a strategy. So, a strategy answers these questions: that where is the organization, what is the position of the organization right now. Then number two, it answers the question, where does the organization want to see itself in future, maybe after 5 years down the line. And the third question which it answers is that then what it must do, what the organization must do right from now to reach the desired position or destination in future. So that is what a strategy is. So close the bracket after that. So that is the meaning of a strategy. Now number B, under strategy, topic number B, write down main characteristics of a corporate strategy. Main characteristics of a corporate strategy. Write the page number of your textbook. So open the bracket from this sentence. The main characteristics of a corporate strategy are as follows. Number one, strategy is generally, it should be a strategy. Please write a. A strategy is generally long-term in nature, though it has short-term implications as well. A strategy is a type of a plan which is basically, long-term in nature, but it has its short-term implications as well. It is an integrated and multi-pronged plan. This strategy takes into account the different types of activities which are to be performed by all different departments of the organization. It integrates the different types of activities which are to be performed in future by the different departments and divisions of the organization. And it is a multi-pronged plan. It is action-oriented and is more specific than objective. A strategy is action-oriented because it answers the last question, that what must the organization do right from now to reach the desired destination in future. So therefore the strategy is more action-oriented and is more specific than objectives. It is generally formulated at the top level of management. A strategy, a corporate strategy, is mainly formulated by the top management of the company. In a big company, I have told you before repeatedly, quite a few times before, that there are 3 tiers or levels of management in a big company. Usually, the top level management, the middle level management, and the lower level management. So a strategy is something which is usually formulated by the top level management. It is generally meant to cope with competition and other environmental pressures. Very important characteristic. A strategy is generally formulated to cope with competition, to face competition and other environmental pressures. It is based on organizational objectives and seeks to operationalize them. So like any other plan, a strategy being a plan is based on, is derived from the overall organizational objectives, and it seeks to accomplish these organizational objectives. A strategy is flexible and dynamic. It is formulated after understanding environmental opportunities and threats, as well as organizations' as well as an organization's strengths and weaknesses. So, a good strategy is always formulated by after doing a proper SWOT analysis of the organization. That means the strengths and weaknesses of the organization must be identified first, then the opportunities and threats which are existing and which may arise in the business environment, external business environment, are to be understood properly, and then only a proper strategy can be formulated. So it is formulated after understanding environmental opportunities and threats as well as an organization's own strengths and weaknesses. It indicates the sequence, timing, and direction of major initiatives and moves which the organization will make to handle environmental uncertainties. And last characteristic is that a strategy seeks to ensure deployment means use of key resources of the organization in the best possible manner. Very important characteristic. That a good strategy, always tries to ensure the use of the important resources of the organization, whether it is human resource or any other physical resource like material, machinery, money, etc., in the best possible manner. So close the bracket after this. So these are the important characteristics of a corporate strategy. So with this we come to the end of the discussion on strategies. So we have discussed two types of plans in this session over here. Objectives and then strategy. So I'll conclude this session over here. In the next session we are going to take up another plan which is very important, which is called a policy. Thank you.